Hello, I'm Corey Breininger, and welcome to the Architecture Model Shop. In this particular video, I'm going to introduce you to our table saw, its functions, its uses, safety procedures, and demonstrate how to make several cuts with it, the most common cuts that students make. So first, let's talk about the saw. The type of saw that we have is one called a SawStop. And the SawStop is really nice because it has a particular safety feature. If you were to touch this blade while the saw is on, it has a device inside of it that measures the electrical potential in your finger, in your skin, and it will instantly, you won't even see it happen. It'll happen in a microsecond. It will stop the saw and it will pull the blade down into the machine. You may have a slight nick in the skin of your finger, but you've got your finger. So we really like this tool for that purpose. It's quiet and makes great accurate cuts for us. To show you what happens, why it's safe, the students a few semesters back set off the saw. They didn't touch the blade. What it was is they had a piece of weathered wood that they were trying to cut. They got it off some old wood pile. I don't know if it was some sort of a potential difference in the moisture content of the wood, or they might have hit a nail or some piece of metal that was in the wood that set it off. And this is what it does to the blade, and this is how it works. So that's really kind of interesting, and it's really safe, so we like this a lot. It's a real good, safe tool for you. I have it set up right now with the blade guard. So the blade guard keeps your fingers away from the blade as well, so that actually works out pretty well. And we have the fence. Now the fence, you can unlock it. It has a lever right here. You lift it, you move it, you set your distance, you push it back down, and you can lock it in place. With the blade guard down, you can't see the blade. So how do you know the blade is stopped? When you turn the saw on, notice that there's a green light right here, solid green. When you turn the blade on, it stays solid green. When you turn it off, it starts blinking. As soon as it stops blinking, the blade has stopped. So that's how you're going to know that the blade is stopped, because you can't see it. So watch the green light that you have down here. Here's how it works. So the blade is still spinning. Blade is now stopped. So look for that with the SawStop before you lift up the blade guard and pull out the piece of work. So to raise and lower the saw blade, this is the handle that we use. There's another handle on that side over there. Don't touch that. This one, it has a lock in the center. Unlock it counterclockwise, clockwise locks, and then you can lower it counterclockwise, raise it clockwise. In theory, every 360 degrees is a 1/8 of an inch rise or low. And then just relock and you're set. So what I'm going to show right now is what we call a rip cut. When you buy your wood at Home Depot, Lowe's, or Dixie Line, it comes in large pieces, 6, 8 foot pieces of your 1x4, 1x2. And your plywood will come in a 2x4 or a 4x4 configuration. But we're always cutting it down because our model sizes, you can actually hold them in your hand, about so big like that, of your architectural projects. So that's why we have these tools, so you can cut this stuff down. So I have a chunk of project ply here that students use for various reasons. And I'm going to show you how to cut this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to raise up the blade guard. Now I know that I want a 5-inch piece off of the piece of plywood. So here's what you have to do. Take a tape measure, and the dimensioned piece that you want is between the blade and the fence. So the tooth on the blade is wider than the body. So this is wider. So what you do is measure to the inside tooth, inside edge of a tooth right there, and measure 5 inches. When you've got this in position, lock it down and come back and measure again. You may have to tap it one way or the other, but if you get that right on the corner, you're at 5 inches, okay? Now, when you make your cuts, the only thing on this side of the tool is the piece of wood you're going to cut. Everything else that you might have is going to be on the other side of the fence. So when you're going to start the cut, you set it up like this. The blade guard is going to come down like this. What the blade does is it imparts a force on the wood as it cuts through, and that tends to cause the wood to rock out like this. You have to counter that with your hand. So you want to apply a little bit of inward pressure in that direction. I usually do that with my left hand. The other thing is, don't stand here in front of the blade. Stand a little bit to the side, okay? So if any splinters, anything wants to come out, you're not in the line of fire of any of that, okay? So let me go ahead and get the tool turned on. Got to do a couple of things. Got to turn on the dust collector. This is an absolute must.